But this journalist, Antifa online reporter who took the photo of all of us, is now saying that he's getting death threats and he's being attacked.
So some of the other reporters were beaten up and told flat out that if they don't leave, if they're seen again here, anywhere near the protest or in Germany, they'll be killed. I don't really know if these people really are, if these are legitimate death threats, but considering they already beat the crap out of 3 journalists, you know, it's possible. I would say, you know, for all the death threats people receive, it usually doesn't escalate to actually being physically beaten in the street. And I think why I take this threat particularly seriously is that there's a video I tweeted out earlier from this journalist, Marcus de Paula. He's a Chicago-based international reporter. He's not politically affiliated. He's not a really high-profile guy. And they just started beating him. They started punching him, took his camera, calling him a Nazi pig, and there's no photos of this guy. They just saw him and started beating him. And that's what I think is particularly dangerous, that this fervent zealotry of get the Nazis it's particularly extreme here in Germany, I think, for obvious reasons. But what these people did is irresponsible, and it really is scary because, you know, for one thing, a journalist took photos of you know, all of us and called us identitarians, which we are not. Like, I'm mixed race, so what ends up happening is people surround and beat up the wrong people simply for appearing in this photo, and that's reckless, it's dangerous. And I had a conversation with someone on Twitter, and I said, what's the difference between what these people are doing and fascism? It's nationalism, that's it. Fascism is authoritarian nationalism. Well, if you take out the nationalism and you call it authoritarian globalism, there's literally no difference. These are people with no evidence will go and beat someone for potentially just having the wrong ideas or being, you know, perceivably the wrong color or something. It's mind-blowing that they're going to look to a, you know, tall white dude and scream Nazi and just start beating him simply because, honestly, I have no idea why they attacked Marcus because, you know, we all know each other. We're journalists. We all see each other around, but Marcus wasn't with us. He came here. He's been here days before us. We just know him. The same thing with Max. We are walking. We see this guy and like, hey, how's it going? And none of us are really with each other, but we all just know each other and we kind of just do our thing. But this photo captured me, Max, Luke, with Lauren walking behind us, and that was enough to say this is a group of identitarians. And then that triggered people going around with a phone looking at the photograph, trying to spot people out. In Marcus's video, the one I tweeted, you can see as they're questioning Marcus and he has his hands up, there's a guy pointing to a phone and then he points at Max. Why? Because Max was walking next to me and Lauren Southern walked behind him, and that's it. Max doesn't know Lauren. I barely know Max, he doesn't know me. He was just walking and we said, oh, hey, I recognize that guy, I've seen him before. I think Max might know Luke from seeing him around a couple times, so that's the second time I've ever seen this guy in my life. But sure enough, that was enough to leave Max with, you know, his elbows and knees all bloodied up to punch him. They left another journalist with a black eye, and they said, if you come back, we'll kill you. So I guess, to wrap this short rant up, if you get a death threat, if people are circulating your photos saying no Nazis, and then sure enough, several people get beaten, I'd say that's a credible death threat. So these high-profile events really just, it's becoming too dangerous, really, especially with how extreme it is at the G20. But this just goes to show the escalation and political polarization that anybody they disagree with, anybody they suspect of being a Nazi gets a beatdown. A journalist from America who they've never seen before, they just run up to him and start beating him. I feel like we're almost a critical mass here. You know, Chris Reagan has that song, Punch a Nazi, where he jokingly talks about how these people think everyone's a Nazi, everyone's a white supremacist. And now we're actually, you know, at these events, we see them attacking people, just attacking people who they don't know who these people are. They just decided to point out some guy and beat him up. Again, Marcus wasn't in any photos. He's not with us, but maybe someone saw him talking to me or something, so they beat him up. I don't know. But unfortunately, we're getting out of here. And there are still some other stories in Europe that I think I can cover, so it's not a loss. It's just not going to be any riot porn. And I don't think the world will be any worse off for it. Riot porn is not the most substantive or informative material, so I'm about to get on a plane, head to London. We'll see what happens.
I am now in London, and there are some updates about what's going on. Obviously, I'm not in Hamburg, Germany anymore, and that sucks because the G20 is really important. But again, riot porn, not the most substantive thing. There might be some interviews I can do here in London, which would be substantially more informative, but I really, really do regret not being on the ground for the G20 because there is a lot of crazy stuff happening. So my sincerest apologies. I want to say I'm sorry that I'm not able to do this coverage, but at the same time, I hope we can all recognize that if I get recognized, if people start spreading my photo around and there's threats, that these things happen. And I don't think we're to the point where it's so dangerous I can't go out and do anything in the future. I'm not really worried about that. I think this was just an unfortunate circumstance that, we get caught up in, and these people are fervent, and it sucks. But this journalist, Antifa online reporter who took the photo of all of us, is now saying that he's getting death threats and he's being attacked. Luke Rutkowski of We Are Change, he made a video where he flat out identifies this reporter. I haven't used this guy's name, I haven't used his photo, I haven't used his Twitter handle, and I won't, because I do not believe two wrongs make a right. He took our information, shared it around, and got us in trouble, and I'm not going to do that same thing. Quick derailment. The reason is, I don't believe that you can use these tactics to create the world you want to live in, because people will just use those tactics against you. So, if I were to adopt the tactics of this guy, doxing people essentially or publishing their photos, then I'm just making the world the same. I'm doing the same thing he's doing. I won't do that. However, Luke did do that, and now this guy's identity is known. His photos apparently weren't public, and now people know who he is, so he's getting threats. And I don't like to hear that, because I don't like violence. I think this guy made a mistake. He pissed me off, he got me in trouble, and he forced me to end my coverage. He's ignorant, he doesn't know what he's talking about, and he's making further false accusations, and it sucks. But this is a part of the job. People, they don't like me, for whatever reason. I'm not going to speculate as to why. They don't like the narrative, that the stories that I publish, the things I say, and that's fine. They have a right to do that. But ultimately, I think this guy, he crossed the line when he accused just this local German guy that we barely know, who gets beat up because this guy is a zealot. Okay. So this guy published a blog where he's accusing us of all being part of a group of alt-right trolls from the US. I'm here alone, not in a group. And this guy, he in his blog post, he accurately posts about how my work has been carried by many large mainstream outlets, and I'm an award-winning journalist. But because one time Antifa called me an alt-right troll, he puts in his article that I'm an alt-right troll, which it's, you gotta admire the mental gymnastics these people do to take someone like okay, I'm not trying to brag, seriously, but I have won an award for best journalist in social media. I was a finalist for an award for my coverage of Ferguson, a documentary I did. To take that, the documentary I've done about Ferguson, I'm very proud of, and then to accuse me of being an alt-right troll shows that this guy does no research. He doesn't care to do research. And it's just about politics, about winning. And he gets people hurt, and he doesn't apologize for it. I think one of the most remarkable things I've seen coming from one of Luke's tweets. Luke is a 100% Polish-born citizen. He came to the U.S., and now I believe he's a dual citizen, but I know he is a Polish citizen, being beaten by Germans while they're screaming Nazi. It's just absolutely crazy what's happening. So I want to say, doxing this guy I disagree with, and that was something Luke did, I won't do. he's further putting out false information. There's nothing I can do about it. This is all a part of growing up. This is just a part of the job. So I don't want to come off as though I'm complaining and upset, whiny or anything. I recognize that getting attacked, getting threatened, this is the job, this is the life that I chose. And the more work that I do, the more people get exposed to the content I'm doing. I'm getting more followers, and that means some of them will like me, some of them will hate me, and that means things can get dangerous. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. This is just one story that I have to take a step back from. It's not the first time, it's actually the third time in 6 years. It's not a bad record, having to only pull out of 3 stories in such a way. So I think I'm still doing a good job. There's some really great interviews here in London I'm trying to get. There's another big story coming up in the UK, and then after that, I'm open. So send me your thoughts and ideas. I am in Europe, and I'm free to do whatever. So let me know what I should cover while I'm here. Comment below. Let me know what you think, any story ideas. You can tweet at me, you can email me, my email's on my Twitter account, and just, drop me a line. Tomorrow, I have an interview with Sargon of Akkad, who happens to be British. He doesn't live in London, but he was here, so I was able to catch up with him and do a quick interview talking about the intersection of Antifa and social justice and harassment. So it's pretty interesting. We talk about some issues, and I have to edit that, so that'll be available tomorrow. If you like the video, click the like button. Again, comment below on any thoughts, ideas. Let's keep the conversation going. Seriously appreciate everybody who engages the channel and comments. If you want to support the work that I do, you can go to patreon.com/Timcast to give whatever you'd like, or give nothing at all. My content will always be free and available, but when you give, you help me do the things that I do, and you help me do it better. And right now, I really want to hire second in command, I suppose, someone who can help me with production and filming and things like that. So no real necessities. I'll keep doing the thing that I'm doing, and I'll do my best to stay safe. If you want to follow me for breaking news and other updates, I'm on Twitter and Instagram @Timcast. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you tomorrow at 4 p.m.